Hello, boys and girls. So, this is actually our last math lesson of the year. Today is Friday, May the 15th, and we are just doing a snippet of how to tell time. And some of you already know how to tell time, and this is a great thing that you can work on a little bit this summer now and then. But that is what we're working on today. I can tell time to the hour using the hour hand. So I am on page 501, and this is module 18, lesson 1. And all you need to do on this first page is to draw a clock. So you might look around your house and see if you can find a clock that has these numbers on it. In this day and age, we see mostly digital clocks, and so you may really have to do some searching in order to find what we call an analog clock, and we're going to see what that looks like on the next few pages. But it's the kind that has the circle and the hands on it. So try to sketch a clock on this first page. And then on the next page, build understanding. Kyle has a cuckoo clock. Every hour, it makes a cuckoo sound. Write the numbers on the clock below. And so you are just going to start and write the numbers on this clock. Now I'm going to give you a little hint. The 1 actually starts slightly over here. The 12 is going to end up at the top. So you're going to count around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is always at the very bottom of the clock, and count the rest of the way around. The hour hand shows the hour. So that is the shorter hand on the clock, and that is the hand that we're going to be dealing with today. What number does the hour hand point to? Well, I told you that this will end up being a 6. So the hour hand on this clock points to a 6. The time is 6 o'clock. We're not dealing with the minute hand yet, but if the hour hand is directly on that 6, then it is 6 o'clock. What time is the hour? What time is the next hour? Draw the hour hand on this clock. So if we were to move from the 6, the next hour would be 7. So you're going to draw the short hand pointing to the 7. And they even have this little dotted line going around so that your short hand doesn't go past that dotted line. All right, Wilson wants to get some books from the library. He wonders what time it is. Use the hour hand on the clock to write the time on the digital clock. So again, we're just using the hour hand. That's the short hand on your clock, and the short hand is pointing to the 11. So that means that it is 11 o'clock. So on a digital clock, like you're used to seeing on your microwave and on your phone, that's what 11 o'clock looks like. The time is 11 o'clock. But if you use an analog clock like this, you're going to look at the short hand, and we'll add that minute hand later. So how are the two clocks different? How are they both the same? They're both the same because the hour is 11. Check understanding. Mai goes to the park at 2 o'clock. Draw the hour hand on the clock at 2 o'clock. So you're just going to draw just the short hand pointing directly to the 2 o'clock. Moving on down, the time on this clock is 7 o'clock. Write the time on the digital clock. Okay, so we've only got that hour hand again. It's pointing directly at the 9, so that's 9 o'clock. Russell walks to school at 8 o'clock. Which clock shows 8 o'clock? So we're going to look at those hour hands. We're going to find the one that's pointing exactly at the 8 o'clock. So that would be the green one. You're just going to circle it. Choose a time that tells the hour. Draw the hour hand and write the time on the digital clock. So it's open-ended. You pick whatever time you want to. So if I have my shorthand pointing to the 3, that's going to be 3 o'clock, but you pick any time that you want to pick. A movie starts at 6 o'clock. Juan looks at the time. Will he be able to see the movie? Okay, so if it is 5 o'clock, is he going to be able to see a 6 o'clock movie? Yes. So you can say, and you need to explain. So, yes, he has an hour before the movie will start. Here's lesson 2. We're skipping this page, so we're going to move on to the next page. Building understanding. The class has sharing time at 8 o'clock. Then they start math class at halfway between 8 o'clock and 9 o'clock. Draw the hour hand to show the time for sharing time and math class. All right, so they have sharing time at 8 o'clock. So I'm going to make my shorthand pointing to 8 o'clock. They start math class halfway between 8 and 9. So that means that my hour hand, and that's all we're dealing with today, is right between the 8 and the 9. So it's called half past 8. It's gone past the 8, but hasn't gotten to the 9 yet. So it's half past 8. Math class starts at half past 8. Art club meets at 2:30. Draw the hour hand to show 2:30. So I'm going to go between the 2 and the 3. It's past 2, halfway between 2 and 3. The tricky part for first graders is to figure out if it's going to go before the 2 or after the 2. And if it's half past 2, it's going to go between the 2 and the 3. So between which 2 hours is the hand pointing? It's between the 2 and the 3 because it's past the 2. Caleb and John meet at the library at 4 o'clock. They leave the library a half hour later, okay? So they came at 4. They're leaving a half hour later, which would be 4:30, or we call it often 4:30. Draw the hour hand to show the time that they leave the library. The time is 4:30. So it's past the 4, but hasn't gotten to the 5 yet. Look at the hour hand, write the time. Okay, so on the blue clock that we're looking at, notice that this hand is not exactly on the 1, it's not exactly on the 2, so it's not 2 o'clock or 1 o'clock, it's between the 2 of them. So which one has it gone past? It's gone past the 1, so it's half past 1 o'clock. If I look at these two, it's between the 7 and the 8. Which one has it gone past? It's gone past the 7. The hour hand points halfway between the 7 and the 8. So it would be 7:30. Now, there's a little trick to this. You always pick the number that is smaller, except when you get up to the 12. So if it's between the 1 and the 2, it's going to be 1:30 because 1 is the smaller number. It's the one it's gone past. If it's between the 7 and the 8, you're always going to pick the smaller number, which would be the 7. If it's between the 9 and the 10, you're going to pick that smaller number. It would be 9:30. Up until you get to the 12. And then when it's between the 12 and the 1, you choose the 12. So moving on to number 3, which clock shows 3:30? Okay, so that one's not past the 3. This one's between the 3 and the 4, so it might be that one. If it's between the 3 and the 4, it has gone past the 3, so it's 3:30. Charlene watches the sunset. The sun sets at 5:30. Must be wintertime. Circle a clock that shows when the sun sets. So we're looking at the ones where it's gone past the 5. Okay, this one's close to the 5, but it's between the 4 and the 5. And I said to pick the smaller number. So nope, that's not that one. That would be 4:30. This one, it's between the 3 and the 4. Pick the smaller number. It's 3:30. This one is between the 7 and the 6. It would be 6:30. So this is the one that shows 5:30. Oliver leaves the house at 7:30. Draw the hour hand to show that time. 7:30 will be between the 7 and the 8. Chloe looks at the clock in the kitchen. The time is 7:30. Well, it's between the 11 and the 12. So it's 11, 11:30. All right, you've done a great job helping me through math this year and quickly zipping through these last few lessons. Good job.